Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. This is the second LR Year 7 video going into ESBR, this time with the LR SSJ4s, and it is just repeat dominance. We're back on the Pure Saiyans category ESBR, we're back on the 170 Pure Saiyans team to match the same conditions, which is pretty much one of the more challenging current ESBR stages that there currently is, and to not use a 200% category lead. As I said in the Gods video, if you didn't see that one, that, you know, when you do category missions, a lot of these are still going to be around 170 leads. So I kind of wanted to make it realistic conditions and a kind of realistic situation, hence why we're on the 170 lead Pure Saiyans team. And as I said, it's just more of the same dominance. You could kind of say the LRSSJ4s had a slightly better rotation because I decided to bring the LRSSJ4 from year 4 with us, who does share 7 out of 7 links. Or is it 6 out of 7 before fusing? No, because the links stay the same, so it's like 6 out of 7, 7 out of 7. But to be fair, SSB Vegeta with the Gods did have kind of their important attack links off. But this, we actually managed to get through the run a bit quicker. So, I mean, I know the LRSSJ4s do have type advantage against the Goku Junior at the end battle. So either that was the main reason why, which is a very kind of minute factor, or we were getting lucky with like RNG type things like additionals, crits, etc. That might have been why. So as I said, it's just kind of more of the same. You know, one of the main things is, of course, when it comes to their transformation conditions, you know, they are of course really good. I don't think, no, actually no, I didn't manage to fuse into Gogeta once. Fusing into Gogeta, of course, would have been massive because we would have had the counter chance, which is great at kind of avoiding damage and then dealing a lot of damage back. You know, doing even more amazing damage. You know, you've got the massive raised attack and defense on 18, greatly raised attack and defense on 12. You know, that's the damage reduction per rainbow key sphere obtained, which, you know, if you manage what seems to be lucky enough, if you don't do too much damage with some of these better units in the games and the 7-year anniversary units, if you do manage to fuse them and transform them, the Gods, at least you can actually take advantage of their 7% chance to evade per rainbow key sphere obtained. At least you can kind of take advantage of that here. That's of course if you are getting the transformation of, which doesn't seem likely. I'm pretty sure I've done it once in the God video and I didn't go into Gogeta once using the SSJ4s. So it wasn't even needed, it wasn't even necessary. I mean, it's kind of a shame you don't get to, but it just kind of shows you how good they are that they don't need to transform here. And then, of course, with the SSJ4 Gogeta, if you do manage to fuse, or if you do need to fuse at any point, at least you do have the damage reduction per 7% damage reduction per rainbow keys for attained, along with the counter as well, which is great. Again, you can avoid damage, take even less damage. If you get the counter off, you can counter supers and deal massive amounts of damage in return. I said we didn't get to fuse, so that's kind of unfortunate, but at the same time, I said it shows that it wasn't really needed, again, because of the rotation we had set up. Yes, it currently isn't the optimal version because, again, the LRSSJ4 EZAs do come out in the EX portion, which is quite a way away right now. It's like a month away or so. But still, I still decided to bring them, or bring him. And yeah, you know, with these units, you're never struggling for key, which means we're constantly getting the 18 key off, which means we're stacking. And then because we're getting all the key we need, because again, they never struggle for key, we're then getting the additional guaranteed to come off, which means we're stacking even more. Again, just like the Gods, we're getting extra offense built up, which means we're doing extra damage. Clearly by this one, which we spent a little less time in, we're doing more damage to spend less time in the fights, getting through it quicker, which is what you want to do. And also building up the defense so we can tank some of those supers a little bit more. Now, of course, the SSJ4s before fusing, again, they're pretty much identical to the Gods. So that one turn of guard while having more turns would of course been really nice. Having the one turn of guard in ESBR of course is incredibly useful because, you know, ESBR, there could be multiple enemies, you know, at least 2 and upward. They can all be attacking you at once. If you haven't started stacking yet, you've also got that 7 turns of attack and defense plus 77% on top of the 1 turn guard you have, on top of the 120 you get at the start of turn anywhere that you have all the time. So, you know, that's what, 190% attack and defense with 1 turn guard on turn 1. You know, as I said, there's multiple attacks coming, you haven't started stacking yet. You know, there's also potentially multiple supers coming at you as well when you know, facing 2 or more enemies at all times in ESBR. So of course that guard really does come in handy. Yes, it's a shame it's only 1 turn, but as I said before, if they had permanent guard or just maybe 5 turns of guard, or like 7 turns of guard with the attack and defense plus 77%. Maybe that would have been better, but permanent guard definitely would have been way too OP. But, you know, turn 1, having that guard with the 77% on top of that for 7 turns really does make up for the fact that you haven't started stacking yet. Even better if you manage to get, you know, a super or 2 off, if you do get that additional off, while, you know, having that guard. Let's say we got supered by Gohan on this phase right now, or this turn right now. On the first turn, say this is turn 1, we supered twice, we managed to stack twice, while having the 77% for 7 turns and that turn 1 guard. We'd be tanking actually pretty well, and we haven't really got started yet. So of course there's that, which is nice to utilize and be able to take advantage of. Only once, but it can still be helpful. You know, again, just like a lot of stacking units, you can't really get them going, but of course the fact that ki is never really an issue, and you know, having that 7 turns of attack and defense plus 77%, and then having that extra ki plus 1 that of course you get as ki plus 2 when you fuse. But of course you're not really going to be fusing a lot here, you know, judging by this run, because you do too much damage. You know, having that ki plus 1 and attack and defense plus 77% for 7 turns, just like the gods, it's never gonna be an issue. Running out of it's never gonna be a problem while using them, because as I always say, typically you're gonna be spending 5-6 turns in a Super Battle Road fight or any SBR fight. If you're spending any longer than that, if things are going a little bit slow for you, you're missing certain units that can't get you through it quickly, or not ideal for like a category mission, for example, you may spend 7, which, you know, is the turn, of course, they lose the attack and defense plus 77%. But because usually on average you're spending 5-6 turns, sometimes 4 with these year 7 LRs, because they do so much damage, especially if you're getting the guaranteed additional off, you're never going to have to worry about losing it, which is also very nice, because it kind of makes up for the fact that, of course, you're not going to be able to stack the year 7 LRs too much. You can stack them quite a bit, because again, if you're getting all the ki you need, if orb placement isn't like terrible for you, you're constantly stacking twice and supering twice a turn, which means you're getting some of that bulk, you're tanking a lot better, you're also doing a lot more damage, which in turn, as I said earlier, means you're doing a lot more damage in each fight, which means you're not going to be in the fight and overall in the stage, or you're going to be in and out of it a hell of a lot quicker. So it all works out well. And as I said, you tank a bit better as well. And then not only that, you know, if you do manage to fuse, which I didn't manage to do here, but you know, if you do manage to fuse and you fuse into Gogeta, again, at least you will also have that 7% damage reduction per rainbow keys for obtained. On top of the fact you can also counter with Gogeta, which is huge for avoiding damage here. Also, if you manage to super first, you could massively raise your attack and defense on 18. If you manage to get the additional, you will then also greatly raise your attack and defense on to 12. And then again, I said you can counter. You've also got not much damage reduction, but then depending on how many rainbow key spheres you pick up, you will have damage reduction on top of that, which will be a massive help. But in terms of how frequently you're going to get the active off and actually fuse, and even transform into the blues for the gods, I'm not entirely sure how often you're going to get that off. As I said, I didn't manage to get into Gogeta once in this run. I managed to get into the blues once with the gods. So I don't know how frequently you're going to see it. I said, maybe if your team, maybe if you're lacking units where you're using them, maybe RNG isn't going too well for you, then maybe, and you can kind of take advantage of it, do big damage. Again, with the SSJ4 GOKU, you've got the damage reduction per rainbow key sphere obtained, and then also you've got the counter. And then you're just kind of, at that point, you're just kind of cruise control and you're just doing bits, you're walking it. But as I said with the gods, the dominance of these year 7 LRs are actually crazy. But as I said before, do let me know what you think of them. I'm waiting for the latter red zone stages to come out to use them there. But until then, I'll see you in the next video, guys, and